Hi, my name is Sherilyn Dorsey, and I am creator and founder of You're More Than Their Mother and author of You're More Than Their Mother, Reclaim, Realign, Rebalance Your Life. And I teach entrepreneurial moms how to reclaim, realign, and rebalance their lives and go after their dreams. So I'm so excited today because I am talking about today something that plagued me for a very long time, not just in my life, but it trickled over into my business, and it really held me back. It really kept me stuck, essentially. And I realized that not only was, again, I stuck in my life, but I didn't realize how every part of your life trickles over into the other. It shows up in one form or another. There's just no getting around it. So we're having a holistic experience. So what I learned about that and about myself is that I have to treat my whole self in order to affect every area of my life in a way that I want it to be changed, or in a way that I want to affect it. So today, I think I named this topic. You all know I struggle with it every week or every day. I think I named this, Who Are You Trying to Convince? Okay, so who are you trying to convince? Per usual, let's get started with this from the personal and the business perspective. Today, I'm going to start from the business perspective, actually. When it comes to the business perspective of this and who you are trying to convince, when you put yourself out there as a business, as a viable business, and when I say viable business, meaning one that you want to or expect a monetary payment for whatever service, product, or intellectual property it is that you deliver. I consider that to be a viable business, right? Well, when you do that, people want to feel like, or when people buy from you, or when they connect with you, they do it for a few reasons. And one of those reasons are that there's some type of resonance with you, meaning they feel what you're saying. They believe what you're saying. You are believable to them, and they connect with you. So they say, wow, this person can help me, or they're providing me a valuable information, service, or product, and I want to be attached to that. It's not always that they'll buy from you right at that moment, but they follow you along, and at some point they may connect, or usually they connect themselves in terms of a monetary exchange with whatever it is that you're offering. Another reason that people connect with you, or that they follow along with you in business, is because they feel like you are solving a problem that they have. Okay, so there is some issue that they have going on, and they feel like, man, I need to look outside of myself to see where it is I can gather more resources about this, find out more, or even help to correct the way that it is that I'm thinking, behaving, acting, whatever the case may be. That's another reason that people do connect with you in terms of business. Well, with that being said, people disconnect from you in business when they feel that you are salesy, slimy, or always pitching them something. People don't want to be sold to all the time. And when you are doing that, it's like you're trying to convince them that you can help them. But that feeling of being convinced or persuaded is a synonym for that word. That feeling comes from resonance. That feeling comes from that connectivity in resonance, where they feel like you're being honest with them, like I said, and they feel like you are offering something, or you are offering something that they need. It doesn't come from how hard your sale is. You're not convincing them to buy with you or to stay with you as a customer. You're actually deflecting them away from you, because people don't always want to feel sold to. Everybody's selling something. Everybody's a guru, and people just want to feel like they're making a connection now. So there is no amount, when you start to try to convince people, that is one of the biggest mistakes that you can make. And that's one of the biggest ways that you can go into bankruptcy or never get off of the ground with your business. Simply be who it is that you are. Put that in the business, package it, and send it out into the world. Certainly there's a way that you market it and things like that. That's a whole nother conversation, we know. Certainly there are ways that you market it and sell and things like that. But trying to convince or pitching or always selling, it's not the way. It's not the way. That the feeling that comes with that creates distance between you and the person it is that you're trying to connect with. And if you are in business, a viable business, like I said at the beginning, you're looking to make some money, right? So if you're with me, if you get it, hit me some hearts, or if you're with me live, give me some comments on the replay. Let me know what it is that you resonate with that or not, or thumbs up, however that looks with you. Okay, so let's look at this from the personal side. Now, for me, I told you, who's that? Yes, so good. Thanks, Periscope. Thank you, Tracy. Now for me, in terms of personal, when it comes to convincing. Now, I want to talk about this from the adult side, and then I'm going to talk about this even how it affects our children and how they're not even sold with us trying to convince them about who we are, if you will. So when it comes to the personal side, I'm a speaker. I do this in my sleep. I love it so much, right? This is why I turned it into my business. So with that being said, I will talk your ears off. Well, what I learned that I was doing before I went ahead and launched my business and finally took the leap, what I learned I was doing is I was telling people about my business and what it is that I could do and the things that I wanted to do and all of that good stuff. And I think that there's value in that. I definitely believe in speaking things into existence. So there's definite value with that. But what I was doing is all I was doing was providing lip service. I was trying to convince those people, I think, that this is what I could do. Now, the reason I put that caveat in there of I think is because I really think I was trying to convince myself. Those people who I was talking to about this, usually they were loved ones and friends, and they saw value in me for who it is that I was. That was an extension, what I was talking about, of who it is that I wanted to be. So they already loved me. They knew who I was authentically. For the most part, right? I would say, certainly mine did, knew who I was authentically. But me always trying to tell them, always trying to convince them, every time I sit down, that's what I'm talking about. After a while, it becomes lip service, and people are almost irritated with that. You're not convincing them of anything. You're trying to convince yourself that you can do it. And really, the only thing that will convince you that you can do it is doing it. Excuse me 1 second here. Let me fix this. Let me fix Periscope so I can make sure they have a visual. Hey, Latia, I see you joined on Facebook. So the only thing that will convince them is action. Okay? Because again, talking is nice. And talking about it is nice, and definitely getting any type of support that you can around it. But to constantly be talking about that, to constantly be saying this is what you're going to do with no action behind it, it really becomes lip service. And you're not fooling anybody, and nobody's buying into that. You're actually not even fooling yourself. Okay? That's the one person out of everybody who you can't fool. So even if other people are buying it, you're not. You're not. You know the truth about it. You'll know when you're ready by the actions that you make, right? Once those get started, then you'll know it's time. Again, there is a balance to that. I do not negate the fact that we need to speak what it is that we want into existence. I fully believe that. Okay, so let me see. What is the best way to get your business out there without making them feel like you're just, let's see, another seller? Ah, okay, Tracy. So we'll talk about that. Hopefully some of these things are answering your questions. So with that being said, I talked about it, how it is personally in general and talking about adults. Now I want to talk about it, even go a little bit deeper, even us as moms and talking to our children and trying to convince them, if you will. All righty. So let's think about it like this. Hey, Latia, I see you. Hey, so let's think about it like this. When we're talking to our children and we're telling them to do something, let's just talk about how we threaten our children, if we will. And I'm just saying threaten for lack of a better word. We're trying to get them forcibly to do something, if you will, with our words. So sometimes we may yell, elevate our voice, take things away, etc., etc. Well, I don't know about you, but I've been guilty many times of telling my children, I told you get in there and do this. And if you don't, I'm going to, right? So if they don't do it, then I come back and say, didn't I tell you to do this? Didn't I tell you to pick up those clothes, for example? I told you, look, I'm not going to tell you again. Go in there and pick up those clothes, right? Then I come back and at whatever time and for whatever reason, it's still not picked up. And so I'm telling them, I'm not playing with you. If I have to tell you one more time, this is going to happen. Well, guess why they didn't do it the first time? Usually, of course, barring any extenuating circumstance. Usually the reason they didn't do it the first time is because they aren't convinced you're going to do whatever it is that you said. And the simple fact that you keep coming back saying, okay, this time, I know I said that last time, but this time, it is proof positive because you let them. Yes, it's proof positive for them. So even though you didn't say that, your actions said that. So they're not convinced. And you're trying to convince yourself that you're the authority in the room by coming in yelling and threatening and things like that. And they definitely know that. But they're not convinced that there's any type of consequence behind it. Now, I'm not advocating for one consequence or the other. That's up to you and how you choose to raise your children. I just want you to think about follow through, essentially. I want you to think about what it is that's not being said by the words that you say, right? So when we say these things like that, you know, I told you and it's the last time, and I know I said that, but I'm telling you this is the last time. That says to them, unspoken, right? These unspoken words are saying to them is they're not serious. I can do this when I want, as long as I get it done, right? And if you don't believe me, think about how the situations you get in with your children, and think about how, think about how they respond to you when you say things, okay? So I want you to think about that and let me know your thoughts behind that. If you, again, are watching this on the replay, I do read the comments as well as on a replay on Facebook or Catch or YouTube, whatever it is, whatever social media platform it is. I do read the comments. So if there is some discussion around what it is that I said, hey, Yolanda Kennebrew, I am definitely open to talk about it. Okay? So I am going to wrap it up if I don't have any comments or anything like that. Tracy, you did say something, though, actually, before. You said, how do you market your business basically without being salesy? Is you just simply put it out there for people to see. You have to live by what it is that you're saying that works so well. Number one, you have to tell people about the result, not the product. So what will people benefit? Hey, Lonnie over there on Facebook. So people want to know what problem it is that you're solving for them, right? So what will be my result as an effect of working with you or buying from you? So that's one way to tell about the benefits of what it is that you have or that you do, without saying, hey, this is what I do and this is how I do it. People aren't always interested in your process. Let me tell you something. Usually they don't care about the process. People care about bottom line results. Think about yourself. All the other stuff is nice, but it's fluff, right? People want to walk away with something tangible that they can say, I am better because of you, because of my experience with you, right? And that doesn't come with convincing them. That comes with results. So as they say, talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. But in this case, when it comes to business, I always tell people talk is super expensive. Hey, Shalonda on Facebook, I see you over there. So talk is super expensive. Why do I say talk is expensive? Because talk, when you're talking too much or trying to convince other people, there's no resonance with that. So people disconnect from you, and that's leaving money on the table. You don't have a sale, right? You don't have that. So why we thinking talk is cheap? Talk is super expensive. Hey, Anthony, I see everybody joining in over here on Facebook. So my hope is that you all will enjoy the replay. So Tracy, I hope that helps you directly, and anybody else out there that was wondering about that. I hope that helps you. Okay, good. Thank you. Well, I'm glad it does. So, hey, Keena. Hey, Anthony over here on Facebook. I see everybody joining in. So I hope, thanks as always. You are very welcome, Tracy. Thank you for your support. Always. So I appreciate everybody tuning in on both channels, Facebook Mentions over here and Periscope over here. I am going to get out of here and go get with my clients. So you all send me good vibes, prayers, whatever it is that you do with goodness. Yes, you're very welcome. I'm glad. Yes, it is. This is real as I know, Yolanda. So thank you. So you all send me those good vibes that things will go wonderfully well with my client and that I will have some expanded duties that go with this. Hey, Alrighty, so please do join me every day, every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on Periscope and on Facebook Mentions. Excuse me, where I talk about business, life, being a mom, and how to do it better, essentially. Okay, so I got to get out of here, but remember, it's time to move beyond everyone else's expectations of who you ought to be and become the woman you thought you could be. Bye. Bye, Periscope. Bye, Facebook.